Check it out.
Now let's see one of them get picked off for lunch. That's right. That's so funny.
Oh my god.
It's so weird to hear them say, oh my god, considering that God isn't that prominent a concept here. Seriously though, they were going so slow. How the fuck did they get in front of us? Whew. Alright, we're up to chapter 4. Fuck yous. Oh, what do you mean? That's silly.
Well, look at that. Another chocobo ranch. I wonder where the owner's hiding.
Oh, right. I guess we have to get a new chocobo. That's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. That looks good. The Alpha Dunk Bangle. And that puts all of our defenses up. Everyone could benefit from that one. Alpha Dunk. Alright, so we're looking at 12,500. Alright. We'll keep that in mind. No! Chadley! We're not talking to you. Alright. Oh, there he is. Damn. Look at those tattoos. Man. No wonder you're walking around topless. If I had a body that great and I had tattoos that epic, I would probably do the same thing too.
Who are you? Wait, you didn't come from the grasslands, did you?
Damn. Look at that dad bod.
I'm Gabe, by the way.
Gabe. Gabe the babe.
Used to run deliveries, but Shinra put the kibosh on all that. Still trying to keep it going best I can. Well, was trying till my carriage shit the bed.
Please, Cloud. He needs help. If not for him, then at least for the chocobos. Sweet.
Heard by the name of Belle. Last I saw, she was over here.
Oh, Belle. She's the one from the demo. Let's go, baby girl. We're being...
You into this, even though he can't pay.
Not can't. Won't. Hate to break it to you, but pretty sure that guy's better off than he looks.
Wait, seriously? Are you saying I got duped? That he's just using me?
Afraid so.
Huh. That jerk. Whatever. I'm not doing it for him anyway. I'm doing it for the chocobos.
Good on you, Aerith. Ah! God. Thing fucking jump scared me. Now we gotta do this bullshit again. Oh, there she is. Hey, Belle. They can fucking see me. You know, I'm just gonna say it. The moving of this cart is probably more scary to them than me. Oh, what the fuck? Hang on. Hang on. There's things around here for me to pick up. Bunch of rocks. You know, see? They know exactly where I am. This is bullshit. Alright. Wait, wait, wait! Yeah! You didn't say shit! Get it! God damn you. I fucking hate you! What's the point in giving me rocks if they're not interested in them? Ah, okay, there's something I'm missing. What are we missing? Okay, there's that switch right there. But how the fuck do I get to it? Let me just experiment with this. Oh no, Aerith! Get out of the way! Don't get hit! Run for your lives from the slowest moving train ever! Watch out, Tifa! Now question, will that reset? Oh, you fucker! How are you supposed to do this then? If you can't set it up beforehand, because they're just gonna spot me, and that one doesn't give a shit about my rocks. How fucking stupid it... This fucker is the bane of my existence! Those ones are gonna spot me if I turn back. I can't go out there. So my only hope is to activate this, but they'll fucking spot me. God! Stop! You already know I'm here. Oh, I fucking hate you! Game developers, just a generic little note. This isn't specific to Square Enix or anything, but stealth missions are not fucking fun. They're not enjoyable. They're a waste of time. And what's the point in being happy about catching a chocobo if I can only have it in one certain area? God, it's just an excuse to do busy work. I don't like that at all. Fuck you. I'm so sorry, baby girl. I really want to do this for you and the chocobos, but this is ridiculous. And I'm not looking this up. You're telling me all the chocobo ranchers in Gaia are this incompetent that they can't even keep... Man. The chocobo ranchers... Is this gonna be a thing with every single chocobo ranch? Like, these people are so fucking incompetent. And why do I have to keep doing this? Sorry, Aerith. I can't do this. I'm not wasting my time on a quest that I'm not even enjoying in the slightest. Fuck it, we're just gonna go straight to Junon. No questions asked. I'm done with this place. Why can't I just take one of these chocobo? They're right fucking here. I hate you all. Ah! What'd I climb up onto these sacks for? Hang on, guys. Sorry. Little adventurous. Hi, Rhonda. You're very beautiful.
Don't care what she said. There's gotta be black robes around here somewhere. So how are we gonna find them?
Might want to ask around town then.
How about we meet at the inn when we're done?
Sounds good. And remember, low profile.
Wait, Aerith, baby girl. Wait, I want to talk to you. Aerith. I'm keeping low profile. So, okay, so there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 little meters. Aerith, I'm following you. Fuck you, Chadley. Where's baby girl going off to? Let's go for a walk through this little fishing town together. Isn't it charming, Aerith? Here we are.
Word around town is Shinra's holding some kind of big event up top. Wonder what? The people here, they hate the lack of sunlight, but not me. I like it this way, though I'd never tell them that, of course.
I mean, I don't fucking blame you. Look at that blinding light. I don't blame you for being a bit of a, what would you call it? Like, not liking the sun very much in the sky. Look at that shit. That is terrifying. Alright, so it seems like I can't do any dialogue stuff with you right now.
Many years ago, this stretch of ocean was home to the Republic of Junon's capital, a floating city built atop a fleet of interconnected ships.
Ooh. That's good to know. Thank you.
That once proud metropolis is mere flotsam, courtesy of Shinra. In its place, the company built a new, unsinkable city of steel, to stand as a warning to any who might dare to oppose them. Or so I was taught.
No, such a good boy.
Hello there. Room for one.
Help! Someone,
What?
please! Help! Anybody, please!
Let me move.
That sword. You're some kind of fighter, aren't you? That was Priscilla. And from the sound of it, she needs a tough guy like you to lend a hand.
Sure. I wasn't done exploring. I didn't realize I was at the inn.
There's a monster attacking the boat!
Hey, wait! Wait for me! Are we about to get Yuffie? Hey, Yuffie! Oh, fuck you! Leave her alone! She's mine! There you go, Aerith. Alright, let's do it! Oh, fabulous, darlings. Absolutely fabulous.
It's below us.
Ah! Tornado! Fuck off! What you doing, Shiva? Ah! Ah! Not the tornado! Imagine if I just fucking fell off. Classic Cab. Ah! Shiva, don't jump scare me like that. I was very focused on what I had to do next.
Finish it. I've got to take him down.
There we go. I still stand by my comments in the demo. Stop vilifying sea creatures. Also, damn. Cloud, you are adorable with wet hair.
Nice work.
Oh.
That girl, come on.
I don't think she's breathing.
Hey, we need help over here.
Oh no, are we really gonna have to do the CPR thing on Yuffie? I don't think I want to. Nanaki!
Maybe someone should go find a doctor? There's no time.
Yes, that fucking is! You got someone doing CPR, put her in the recovery position! You're just keeping the water in her lungs, put her on her side!
You're on chest compressions.
Got it.
Damn, the first same-sex kiss in Square Enix history, and it's not even a kiss. No, but seriously, fun fact, you don't actually have to do life breaths now, because they've found that as long as you keep the compressions going, it's better off doing that than...
Wrong girl, creep! What?
Oh boy!
Are from the Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell? They used to be with Avalanche, but left after a policy dispute.
Easy. They're guests of mine. And this one was trying to save your life.
But bullshit! You did most of the CPR!
Nice going, Yuffie. Call the guy a creep, why don't ya? You big moron!
G'day Websurfers, Editing Kabba here. I really need to interject because I don't want to spread misinformation about first aid, however unintentionally. I haven't had first aid training since 2017, so I'm admittedly quite rusty on my knowledge, and I believe I made some oversimplified comments here. In the event of a drowning, following doctor's ABCD as you would in any other first aid situation is crucial. Danger was addressed by Rhonda pulling Yuffie out of the water while the party dealt with the terror of the deep. After this, she presumably tried to get a response. As soon as it became clear Yuffie was unresponsive, send for help should have been executed. At least one of the many bystanders should have immediately called or searched for a medical professional, as well as retrieve a defibrillator if one was available. There's never no time to find the most qualified care possible for a victim. First aid is not designed to be the extent of one's treatment. It's designed to buy time for professionals to arrive. Receiving professional intervention as soon as possible is a victim's best chance of avoiding death or lifelong complications. And in a real-life scenario, excuses like the one that NPC made could have costed Yuffie her life or long-term health. Now, this is where I made my first mistake. When checking airways, you shouldn't immediately place someone in the recovery position as my initial commentary might suggest. Yes, the recovery position is ideal for draining any fluid in an unconscious victim's throat to prevent further breathing complications. However, what I failed to mention is that if there are no visible airway obstructions, checking for breathing and commencing CPR should be done instead. Unnecessarily placing an unconscious victim in the recovery position wastes valuable time which could be spent checking breathing and attempting resuscitation. Not to mention it can aggravate any injuries that have occurred. Given that Yuffie was attacked by a monster in the first place, it's not unreasonable to suspect she may have sustained some injuries, and so the recovery position might not have been appropriate for her. Here in Australia, it's commonplace to have swimming lessons and basic water safety training in school. When my class in Year 10 was doing the Bronze Medallion back in 2014, I remember being taught to assume that a drowning victim had fluid obstructing the airway, and so we defaulted to putting the training dummies straight into the recovery position after doctors, as well as checking for breathing while the victim was still in that position to save time. I cannot confidently speak on the validity of that advice since that was nearly 11 years ago, but that's the context behind what I said. The training we did assumed we were treating a clean-cut case of drowning, which is why I failed to take into account other factors in Yuffie's situation. As for my statement that rescue breaths aren't necessary, this is an oversimplified comment too. When I last did first aid training for my aged care qualification back in 2017, the instructors told us that rescue breaths and CPR were getting phased out because studies indicated that compressions alone were adequate. There is some truth to that claim. Studies have suggested that rescue breaths should be treated as secondary to chest compressions, but of course, this is still contentious and subject to caveats. Many bystanders hesitate to perform CPR due to feeling uncomfortable giving rescue breaths, and so hands-only CPR was introduced to encourage more immediate action during cardiac arrest. The COVID pandemic also contributed to rescue breaths being widely regarded as optional. For an untrained or out-of-practice individual, confidently performing hands-only CPR can be more effective than unconfidently attempting traditional CPR. Time wasted on hesitating before and during rescue breaths means more time where oxygenated blood is not circulating throughout the body, increasing the likelihood of organ failures, permanent disability, and death. In saying that, from what I've been able to gather from research, if you're trained to do so, rescue breaths are still recommended, especially in cases where the cause of unconsciousness is attributed to a lack of oxygen, such as choking or drowning. Also, personal protection equipment is available to help minimize discomfort, as well as transmission of contagions. These should be used where possible. So yeah, no, the debate around rescue breaths is way more complicated than my commentary suggested, and they should not be automatically dismissed, especially in Yuffie's case. I'm really sorry for these mistakes I made in my initial reaction. As a content creator, I believe it's my responsibility to do my best to provide insightful and accurate commentary. This is exactly why I'm releasing this playthrough the way I am. Editing is an excellent way of addressing misinformation in one's raw recording, as well as articulating talking points that just didn't come out right in the moment. I highly encourage everyone watching to do their own research, or better yet, do a first aid training course so that you know what to do in an emergency. Never just take a YouTuber's word on such matters. While I'm here, I may as well dissect the rest of the first aid depicted in this scene, and oh boy do I have issues with it. We see Rhonda give CPR to Yuffie, delivering countless chest compressions and a single rescue breath. The most glaring mistake I noticed while editing this episode is that Rhonda's elbows are notably bent during compressions. In this position, she is simply not able to put enough force into each compression to allow Yuffie's blood to circulate around her body, as evident by the fact that Yuffie's chest hardly contracts. Around 45 to 57 kilos of force is needed per compression to push the chest down by the 1/3 necessary to force the heart to keep beating. Not only that, but for an adult, or in this case a person over 12 years old, the first aid provider needs to be able to continuously deliver 30 chest compressions per set, allowing the chest to recoil to its natural position in between, at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. This is a tremendous amount of effort to exert, which is extremely difficult to achieve using one's arm muscles alone. Keeping the arms straight makes this task a lot easier because you can utilize your whole upper torso to push your body weight into each compression. As for rescue breaths, we do see Rhonda tilt Yuffie's head back and support it in a similar manner as you're meant to for both airway checks and rescue breaths. However, she doesn't pinch Yuffie's nose closed, and her mouth doesn't fully seal around Yuffie's, which means little to no air is making it into the latter's lungs, rendering the rescue breath ineffective. The fact that Yuffie's chest doesn't rise during the breath supports this. Overall, CPR in Rebirth is presented in this weirdly delicate, almost nurturing manner, instead of reflecting the urgent, physically demanding, and sometimes violent nature of the act. Also, Rhonda's characterization as a responsible, level-headed, and methodical older adult gives the other characters, and the audience by extension, no reason to doubt the efficiency of her tentative technique. In fact, Yuffie's timely recovery almost seems to exonerate it. Once Yuffie woke up coughing water, realistically she should have been kept dry and warm, in a position which prevents further choking on any swallowed water, and monitored closely by medical professionals for at least the next 8 hours. Real-life drowning victims are usually extremely exhausted and may have sustained injuries during their accident, which need treatment. Not only is Yuffie's recovery incredibly quick, as though swallowing enough water to lose consciousness is just a minor inconvenience, but it's also played for laughs, with her instinctively waking up just in time to recoil from a quote-unquote creep attempting to touch her chest. I know she retracts the insult as soon as she realizes Cloud's true intentions, but still, can we fucking kill the trope of CPR being likened to romantic and or sexual activity already? Anyone requiring CPR is in a life-threatening situation where intimacy should be the last thing on anyone's mind, and outdated jokes like this serve to perpetuate trivializing and even dangerous attitudes around first aid. Can this even be considered an improvement over OG's notorious CPR scene, where Cloud hesitates to give rescue breaths because Priscilla is a young girl? Both versions make allusions to it being creepy for men to give CPR to girls, reinforcing pop culture's heavy fetishization of first aid without doing anything to subvert or deconstruct it. Changing the victim to a slightly older girl does nothing to dispel the creep anxieties OG Cloud expressed. In fact, the change almost seems to validate those concerns. If the dev's intention was to steer well clear of any uncomfortable connotations, making Cloud being perceived as a creep the punchline once again makes that change redundant in my opinion. The CPR shouldn't have had a punchline at all. Playing the scene straight by having Cloud go on autopilot and give professional first aid in a soldier-like manner would have been the best way for Square Enix to address the problematic aspects of OG, while also respecting that CPR is literally a matter of life and death with no room for hesitation. And you know what? At least OG had Priscilla be carried home to rest and recover afterwards. Meanwhile, Rebirth has Yuffie flipping and sprinting around mere seconds after being revived. Somehow, OG showed more regard for first aid aftercare than its modern iteration 27 years later. It just frustrates me so much how the devs were evidently aware that the OG scene was controversial for treating first aid like a joke, but then they proceeded to do the exact same thing again in an arguably more egregious manner. Of course, fiction is no substitute for first aid training, but it's naive to pretend that popular media has no influence over how the average person understands CPR. I strongly believe it is the creator's responsibility to portray CPR accurately whenever they add it into a story, or to give some sort of indication if the demonstrated techniques are flawed. I'm pretty disappointed Square Enix ultimately repeated the mistakes they made back in the 90s, especially when they've shown more tact when adapting other problematic aspects of OG like the Honeybee Inn. Once again, none of this knowledge I've shared is a substitute for actual first aid training, and I strongly encourage everyone to do a course in your area. I know I definitely need a refresher myself. Anywho, that's all for now. Back to the playthrough.
Yeah, alright. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah! Oh, I love it when Barrett gets sassy and sarcastic. Okay, now what? Guess we should go talk to Yuffie? Yuffie! You want to join the crew? Ah! Ah! Fuck, she's Naruto running! God, that has to be a creepypasta somewhere, right?
How the hell did you...
I just gotta say, I'm a big, huge fan of yours. HQ wishes they could be as cool as you guys.
Well, we are pretty cool.
Think we could sit down for a chat later? Got a teensy favor to ask. And gotta thank you for before.
I suppose you could come by the inn tomorrow.
Sweet! You won't be sorry. Promise. Later!
God, she's going to fucking Area 51. She's going that fast.
But hey, she's just a kid. What's the harm in hearing her out?
Maybe she wants your autograph.
Come on, let's get ourselves some rooms.
See, Barrett, I like you better like this, when you're actually being like witty and stuff instead of the more slapstick kind of humor. This is when Barrett is at his best, in my opinion. But also, Yuffie, scared the fuck out of me. Whee! Hi, we did the thing.
Now then, how many we got? Will 4 rooms be enough?
Could you make it 5?
5 it is. Oh.
Yeah. Don't go discriminating on my boy Red. Guys, wait for me.
It's open.
Oh, okay. We're going in? Damn, okay. Hey, Barrett.
Hey, so about that Yuffie kid, what do you think she wants with us? Be honest.
Like Tifa said, your autograph.
The virgin.
Oh, okay, cool. That was a good choice.
Always knew this day'd come. Good thing my signature's a work of art. Let me prove it to you.
Genuinely, though, Barrett, like, I'm genuinely very curious. Were you already left-handed, or did you have to learn to do things with your left hand? Like, that's something I'm genuinely curious about. But yeah, you have been through so much. You deserve a lot of love. Okay. Okay, it was a good thing I'm testing all the doors then.
I feel them slipping away, one by one, and the tighter I held on, the more I lost.
I know. I felt the same. It was like they were sucking them straight out of my head.
Nani? And Cloud's like, who the fuck is that?
And the worst part is that I don't even know what's missing. Only that something is. Like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember.
Damn whispers.
Speaking of, you seen them lately? Cloud.
Who's in there with you? Oh. Thought it was someone else.
Nope. All clear here, officer. Patrol was just as uneventful.
No, wait, Aerith! No, wait, I want to talk to you! Aerith, wait! Can I talk to you? Oh, hey! Look! Somehow we've gone up again. Alright, I have to really focus. I don't want to fuck this up and make you upset with me. Okay. We're gonna really try. We're really gonna try, baby girl.
I don't know about you, but it feels like we've been on the road forever. Like Midgar's ancient history. I wonder how Mom and Marlene are holding up.
Homesick?
No time for that, not with Sephiroth around. So, a little random, but do you remember the first time we met?
Of course I do!
You shoved a flower in my face.
It's called a gift, Cloud. I saw it, you know, in a vase at 7th Heaven, and I seriously doubt you're the one who put it there.
Hey, I mean, you never know.
Advice: never re-gift a present from a girl, especially Especially if you're just gonna give it to another one.
Noted.
Water under the bridge. But next time...
No hard feelings. That's what I love about you, Aerith. You don't hold a grudge. Love you, baby girl. Now, who the fuck is this?
Yes.
Oh. Nanaki! Baby boy!
This town reeks of fish and brine.
You should like it. You're a goddamn cat.
I doubt I'll smell them till it's too late.
Huh. Not good.
Thankfully, my ear.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know if I hear anything unusual.
Oh, he happy. Okay, so he wants me to treat him respectfully. He doesn't want me to infantilize him, which is very valid because he is like 48 years old. Even though you're like 15 or something. You're like 15 or 16 in your species age. Sorry. But yes, that makes total sense. Wait, hang on. Do you actually have opposable thumbs? Look at those paws. Maybe you do. Maybe you do have opposable thumbs. Don't mind me looking at your feet. These are the important questions, Zanaki. I'm glad you can open doors, though. You're such an awesome independent person. I like that. I love Nanaki having his own room. That is brilliant. Oh. Well, this doesn't look good. Oh. That looks dark and ominous in there. But no, it's just a dead end. Alright. So Tifa's up here, I'm guessing. Everyone seems happy down there. And I'm gonna guess things are gonna be happy up here, right?
Oh. Hey.
Hi.
Perfect timing. I was just about to come find you.
Yeah,
You...
regret what I said in calm.
What did you... You said nothing, though!
Come in.
This is what why does he have to apologize? He said nothing! He said nothing!
I should have never doubted you.
Tifa, why do you have to keep leaning on the wall like that? Okay, hang on, we're talking. Okay.
Say, do you remember a guy named Emilio from Nibelheim?
He's the kid that fucking bullied me.
Oh, well, his family ran the general store. Was about our age.
Right.
Anyway, he left the village right before you did. Thought I'd never see him again. Then one day last year, he shows up at 7th Heaven. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was all grown up. Didn't even recognize him at first.
Really?
Yeah, and what's more, the woman who walked in with him was stunning. Like...
And Cloud's just like, I don't give a shit about this small talk. It's very awkward. Stop!
Not really. But I'm happy to listen, so go ahead.
It's okay. Forget it.
Was this another test?
No, it wasn't.
Oh god! Things!
Why deny it? I guess it was, huh? I'm sorry.
It's fine. We'll find time to talk. Just the two of us. Figure things out.
Just be ready to spill your guts, huh?
With my iron stomach?
This is so fucking... This is weird.
Night.
So much happened there. I need to think on what just happened for a second. So, why did Cloud have to apologize for making a general observation that he saw you wounded and that he thought you were a goner? Why does he have to apologize for that? Why aren't you apologizing for, like, low-key flashing him and, like, being just passive-aggressive to him because you expect him to remember the promise and stuff? And again, why would you ask about Emilio when he was one of the guys that bullied Cloud? You remember this! You remember everything! And no, I'm not going to agree with the people who say, oh yeah, her memories are a bit fuzzy, when no. You have to remember, Traces of Tifa is all about Tifa recounting her childhood to Aerith. All the things that are mentioned in that childhood Nibelheim section is stuff that Tifa is telling Aerith and then Nanaki, right? So she remembers all this. I would genuinely like them to work things out, though. That would be really important for them. Especially for Cloud, because, he's just been scapegoated way too many times in his life. And he deserves better. It's just very annoying that narratively, like, so far, the only real thing that Cloud's done wrong... No, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that it's wrong per se. More like it's socially unacceptable to be honest about when something being mentioned isn't really your thing. Like, that's the only marginally wrong thing I can really get from Cloud's behavior with Tifa at the moment. Other than that, it's mostly just Tifa, like, being defensive. And it's weird. But, you know what? If they can have healthy communication, if Tifa can just, you know, like, maybe bring up Zack, for example. Maybe if she talks about it with Aerith first, and Aerith realizes, like, holy shit, that black-haired guy you're talking about is Zack. You should really let Cloud know about that. And then it's like, well, then we can go from there, right? It can be like, we can work things out. The problem is, in these little conversations, you're asking the wrong questions. Why are you asking about, you know, Emilio? And especially since he was one of the guys that had a crush on you and sent you letters about, oh, how he was gonna come back and marry you and stuff, and kind of being low-key jealous of his wife or partner, I suppose. Like, it's weird. I really hope that they're going somewhere good with this, because I genuinely want good things for her. I want good things for them. Can we close this goddamn door? Will you close the fucking door? I can't sleep with the door open, guys. Ah, it's fine, I suppose. Wow, look at that view. Nothing sends my heart racing more than staring directly into the fucking sun. Ow. Rest for the night? Yes. There's nothing else to do. Oh, wait. Are you hungry? Oh, no. What? Okay. Editing Kabba again. There is a lot for me to say about this conversation in Under Junon. Coming back here knowing what I know now, it kills me how misplaced my cautious optimism was. Thanks to the trailers, I already knew that the imposter subplot was only just getting started, but even so, I was still like, yeah, they seem to reconcile about the Calm incident and even exchange a little joke at the end there. This is gearing them up for a healthier dynamic, right? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's dissect this scene from the very beginning. My only gripes are more so related to the lead up to this scene, surprise surprise, but I'll discuss that later. I personally think the devs are aware of how contrived their setup in Calm was. hence why they never made the characters go into specifics about what exactly Cloud said to offend Tifa. In saying that, I do think Cloud's brief, vague attempt at an apology is in character for him. He doesn't like upsetting his loved ones, and has been scapegoated plenty of times in his life, so it makes sense for him to default to taking the blame as submissively as possible. Likewise, Tifa has people-pleasing tendencies, and is probably just happy Cloud seems to want to heal the rift and spend more time with her, so she quickly accepts his apology. While doing so, Tifa says she shouldn't have doubted him either, which appears to confuse him. She's likely referring to her believing he wasn't present at the Nibelheim incident, but to me it feels almost backhanded to tack that onto a statement on forgiveness, especially since she didn't even explicitly share that doubt with him and Calm. It muddies the reconciliation by needlessly drudging up other grievances, namely that she doesn't entirely trust him. This evidently informs Cloud's withdrawn response to the next topic. Tifa changing the subject to Emilio seems like nostalgic small talk at first glance, but Cloud quickly figures out she was testing him, undermining her previous remark about needing to trust him more. It's worth pointing out that this is not the first time she's done this in Rebirth, as she used a similar tactic with the Marco pump back in Calm. This could very well just be her gauging his memory or how much he respects their shared history, but I argue it goes even deeper than that. In OG, an often overlooked aspect of Tifa's character is that she wasn't even sure Cloud was the same boy she grew up with. In Cosmo Canyon, she begins to ask Cloud about the Nibelheim incident before retracting her inquiry and alluding to him feeling unfamiliar to her. She is very insecure in her relationship with him, and fears that digging too deep into the reasons why will tear them apart. This brief interaction, along with all the other times she's dodged Cloud's questions about Nibelheim, help contextualize her inaction when Sephiroth gaslighted Cloud into believing he's only a clone of a boy from Tifa's past. She has no answer to the villain's taunts, because that would require confronting the uncomfortable truth that she can't verify Cloud's identity because they barely knew each other, and therefore she'd have to accept that she truly has no connection left to her childhood. She even hesitates to affirm their childhood friend status to Barrett in Medial, once again showing how tentative and superficial the majority of their relationship has actually been. I believe this informs her avoidant behaviour in Reproject too, except that she's more consciously aware of the truth this time around. Therefore, I think she's testing multiple things at once here. Cloud's memory, the integrity of their connection, and even his very identity. But I guess we'll see if and how Part 3 explores that. After some awkward exchanges about Cloud's disinterest and Tifa's suspicions, the former affirms they will talk again to resolve their issues. To me, it really does come off like Cloud's trying to politely end the conversation rather than offering a legitimate invitation to continue it at another time. The party is settled in for the evening with no other business to attend to until the next morning, and it's not even nighttime yet. No external factors are stopping them from taking more time to at least start having more difficult but rewarding discussions. The only barrier is their own inability to have a conversation not derailed by awkwardness and/or resentment. This is yet another symptom of how dysfunctional their relationship is. The banterous front they both put up as Cloud leaves the room evokes a sense of false hope that communication is improving between them. This illusion is shattered by their separate responses once they're out of sight of each other. Tifa is left sliding down the door in dejection, while Cloud falls back into stoicism by using sit-ups to try and literalize his iron stomach quip. This right here? Genuinely good stuff! It demonstrates the dissatisfaction underlying their pleasantries, without relying on the characters expositing every thought and feeling to the audience. I've talked a lot of shit about Reproject's writing so far, and will continue to do so, but credit where credit's due, I don't have any major complaints about the writing in this scene. It pretty effectively conveys the character's avoidant style of conflict resolution and how that exasperates their dysfunctional dynamic. They rush through the motions of apologizing, let passive aggression undermine their attempts at reconciliation, go out of their way to avoid and deny the need to delve into more uncomfortable topics, and mask their distrust in one another with humor. None of these are healthy communication methods, and show that this conversation has been a performative reprieve at best, leaving the door wide open for the escalating tension that unfolds later. Apart from the questionable cinematography of Tifa as always, there's very little fan service to be found in this scene. It respects the characters and the audience enough to play this conversation straight without romanticizing the red flags in their behavior together. Overall, this scene has a level of nuance and restraint that's sorely missing from many of Rebirth's scenes. I really wish Reproject dealt with its subject matter like this more often. Unfortunately, this scene doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists within a conflict that was poorly set up and inconsistently applied. Cloud saying he regrets what he said in Calm is what kicks off the extended interaction they have here. However, as I've extensively discussed already, Cloud said nothing harsh or accusatory enough for Tifa to logically deduce that he thinks she's an imposter. Sephiroth's exposition cameo effectively forces the audience to project the imposter rhetoric onto Cloud's every word, manufacturing an illusion of justified indignation on Tifa's part because we already know she's correct in her assumption. Realistically though, her reaction to his observational remarks makes no sense without Sephiroth, the writer's proxy, having already put that idea in the audience's heads. Removing or ignoring that, you quickly realize how far Tifa would have had to read into Cloud's words to come to that specific a conclusion. Here Cloud says he regrets what he said, when back in Calm, Tifa reacted based on what she thought he was implying. Between this and the strong reactions in the immediate aftermath of the Calm conversation, there's a pervasive dissonance between what actually happened and how the narrative wants us to interpret what happened. Every time I look at scenes for this conflict, it makes me feel like I've missed a huge chunk of the story where Cloud actually did instigate the imposter subject. It's like the narrative is trying to retroactively portray Cloud as being more confrontational than he actually was, so we can look at his eventual aggression under Sephiroth's influence and go, ah yes, the signs were there all along. He's been hostile towards her the whole game. The word imposter is such a loaded term, as it calls the labeled person's identity and morality into question. So Sephiroth telling the audience that Cloud sees Tifa as one has the effect of us subliminally projecting the idea that he not only doesn't trust her, but also that he doesn't respect her. Never mind that Cloud never directly accused her of being an imposter or showed any malice in the statements that supposedly imply that he was. And that he treats her like everyone else until it's plot convenient for him not to. We're just meant to take away that thinking someone close to you is an imposter is bad. Therefore, Cloud is treating Tifa badly just by thinking she's an imposter. It's one thing to attempt dramatic irony by telling the audience Cloud's suspicions ahead of time, but it's a whole other thing to not let Cloud's actions speak for themselves, and to act as though the emotional connotations of a single word outweighs the entire context of what actually happened in Calm. It's manipulative writing designed to manufacture drama without the natural consequences. They want Cloud to be antagonistic towards Tifa without letting him do anything all that morally dubious. And it fucking shows. This is yet another side effect of Reproject introducing Sephiroth far too soon. There's no questioning Cloud's behavior or morality because we're immediately shown in Remake that Sephiroth is constantly manipulating and puppeteering him. Not only that, but Reproject has toned down his performative macho act and preemptively emphasized his awkwardness, loneliness, and emotional vulnerability. Basically, Remake made Cloud too sympathetic by front-loading character growth which had been saved for the back half of OG. So now, when Rebirth tries to force that morally grey lens back onto him while still oversharing his perspective, it simply doesn't work very well. It would be more effective if he was actually being particularly hostile to Tifa the whole time, but up until Gongaga, he simply isn't. At worst, he's just marginally more blunt with her for a line or two, but it's almost always resolved within seconds. It's basically just the plot and characters telling us Cloud is being an asshole when his actions just don't match the energy of the allegations. Another frustration I have is how they barely interact between the Calm incident and their chat in Under Junon. Tifa awkwardly tries testing Cloud with a Marco pump the next morning, but when they later return to Calm for money, their interactions are as amicable as usual. She seems upset at his matter-of-fact response at the fallen roach figure in the mines, but then they have a completely uneventful segment with Aerith where they almost exclusively discuss their progress in the tunnels, as if the Calm incident never happened. In a way, I can see how the two of them reconciling in a superficial, rushed, and ultimately temporary matter out of nowhere feeds into the dysfunctional dynamic they have. But as I mentioned before, this conflict only arises when it's convenient for the plot, so it would have been good to see the Calm incident have a more consistent impact on the relationship between major beats. It's an established pattern in Cloud and Tifa's relationship that it relies on external intervention to maintain itself. So having Aerith try and mediate them in the mines would have not only reflected that red flag, but also showcased how much Aerith cares for both of them. This would have been even more meaningful in a version of Rebirth where Aerith still remembers what Sephiroth did to Cloud and Tifa and OG, but I digress. I could talk at length about how glaring an issue it is that Aerith and Tifa almost exclusively discuss plot-crucial topics off screen, and believe me, I fucking will. But for now, I'll just say it's extremely frustrating that such serious conflicts are only relevant when the plot needs them to be. When in reality, having the party leader reportedly accuse one of them of not being who she says she is should be having a much bigger impact on the group's relationships and overall cohesion. Speaking of how inconsequential this subplot feels, Under Junon is the one major beat that wasn't featured in Rebirth's pre-release trailers. Key quotes from the inciting incident in Calm in Chapter 1, the Genova fight on the ship in Chapter 5, and the climax in Gongaga in Chapter 9 were all spoiled in the lead up to Rebirth, some up to 20 months in advance. 20 months! We literally knew Tifa was going to be framed as an imposter almost 2 years before the game even came out! This in itself front-loads the story pretty fucking badly, which is a common criticism of trailers in general, but it's especially egregious in Rebirth's case because the game itself fails to elaborate on the imposter conflict beyond what was shown in the trailers. It doesn't subvert what they teased, there's no consistent tension or organic escalation, and worst of all, its rigid conformity to OG's plot means this conflict is forced to not make too radical an impact on anything that happens before or after it. Like those subpar midquels Disney used to make. Of course, there are moments of tension here and there between major beats, but they're constantly undermined by the sheer quantity of light-hearted banter present in Rebirth's script, as well as the dialogue options for the Gold Saucer date in Chapter 12. It's damn near impossible to craft a convincing conflict when the game also wants to give players the option to have the involved characters go on a date. Even after the fucking atrocity that was Chapter 9. Just wait till I get to you, Gongaga! When writers refuse to let their main characters be flawed and have there be consequences for their actions, it severely cheapens the stories they're telling. It's just so frustrating that we could have gotten so many more good scenes like this one in Under Junon, where Cloud and Tifa's problems were acknowledged and explored. Instead, more often than not, we're just fucking around with filler dialogue and content that's tonally dissonant from them and the rest of the party's circumstances. Believe it or not, I still have things to say about this conflict, but that'll be all for now. Back to the playthrough. Wait. What is it? I just got to fucking sleep. Yeah, hang on. It's here that Cloud has that thing, that dream where it's like, ask Tifa. about things, and then she didn't. Oh, what? Sure.
Okay, now that the gang's all here, it's time you got to know me. My name is Yuffie, materia hunter and elite ninja operative for the interim Wutai government. I left my beloved homeland behind to bring an end to Shinra's reign of terror and prove that Wutai's not to be trifled with.
Cute. You're very cute, Yuffie.
Don't ninjas creep around in the dark slitting people's throats. We've done some shit, but we ain't about to stoop that low.
I resent that. Here's something we do. She offered me the gig of a lifetime, an assassination. And guess who the target is?
Me!
Seriously, yes.
Just spit it out already.
Who else but a certain company's new president, Rufus freaking Shinra? These people had their country stolen from them, and then their sunlight. Junon demands revenge. So when the president steps out...
Oh, wow. Tell us more.
Okay, you want to know how Rhonda's planning on paying me? With your bounty suckers.
What?
Wow, gotta hand it to her. The lady works fast. Well, this was fun. See ya.
Hey!
Oh, Yuffie!
If you manage to get away...
Wait, I know that voice. That better not be who I think it is. Oh, fuck, it is who I think it is. Get out of here, Roche. Oh. I don't want to have to deal with Roche. I hate him. He's like the epitome of crisis core writing, where the character comprises of one or two jokes, and it never fucking goes anywhere. No. Look, I love that you're a total gay icon, but come on. You need more of a personality. I can't just fuck a himbo who only cares about cars and being gay. I need a personality, please. Oh, Barrett, can you protect me from him, please? I don't want him here. Oh, Roche. He turned up in Chapter 4 of Remake too. Aerith, no! Roche, I swear to God, if you do anything to Aerith, I'll run you over with your own bike! And not in the kinky way either! What do you want from me?
The heart grow fonder, my friend.
You're not my friend. Fuck off.
Shit by fate. The speed demon has been entrusted with a singular task. Retrieving one Aerith data.
No!
Me?
Not her! Take me instead!
I'm alone.
I mean, no, he would like that way too much, actually. No, take Tifa! Take her!
But no need to worry. I found the perfect stage. The city above, where we can dance up a storm.
No, I don't think I want to. Oh, God, why are you here? You're so cringy. This story doesn't need any more Crisis Core-esque characters who have one joke and they milk it into the ground. I'm sick of those kind of characters. Doggo. Oh, that cute dog. Oh.
This here's Salmon.
Salmon. Oh, Salmon, you are the best boy ever. Don't tell Nanaki I said that. Oh, we love a protest. Junon has no president. Oh shit, no president! Rufus, go home! Junon has no president! Shinra has no president! Go home, Rufus, go home! Fuck! Man, this is always the way at protests. I've been to a couple, but you never know when you're meant to chant. Give me one of those. Bye, Chadley. Fuck you, Chadley. Alright, where's Priscilla? She's probably down with the dolphin, right? I forget. What's the dolphin's name again? Is it Diamond? Why am I thinking Diamond? I mean, that's one way of getting down. Look at Barrett. He's up there fucking judging me so hard. Like, why the fuck did you do that? Is that her over there? Oh, there she is. Hello, dolphin.
Oh, hey you guys.
We talked to Yuffie. She said that you could show us a way to get up top.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Although, Yuffie's the one who found it. And according to her, that tanker's the quickest and easiest way into the city.
High voltage?
Yep, it should just say, no climbing.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Not with Mr. Dolphin.
Mr. Dolphin.
Like when we met. See, I was out taking a swim all on my lonesome. At least I thought I was alone. But then, squeak, squeak, I hear this funny noise.
That's great and all, but we're in a hurry.
Hey!
We're sorry, really. But we'll make sure to come back as soon as we're done. You can finish your story then. How does that sound?
Okay, promise. Never done it before? My arm, your arm, bam!
Oh, gotcha.
Aw, that's really cute. Aw.
Then, now what?
Now we ask Mr. Dolphin to get you up. With his help, it'll be a cinch.
Got you written all over it, Merc.
Oh, why do you guys keep volunteering me for everything? Bye, guys. Wait for me, Mr. Dolphin. Swimming in the ocean. Swim, swim, swim. Did we do it? Oh, boy. Oh, fuck. We're swimming into the beach balls, right? I'm very confused. Wow! I'm so very confused. Oh, no! I'm hurting the dolphin. Where are we going? I'm not sure what we're doing. Oh, I see. Okay. Did we... Fuck! I missed it! Doesn't matter! Ah! We go... Sorry. Sorry. I'm so confused. What are we meant to do? God, I don't want to do this. What is the point of this? Boop, boop. Sure, we did it. Oh, fuck. Okay. We...
Nice going, man.
Yay, we did it. Why did we have to be so pretentious about a course for that, though? Guys, are you watching? God, they look so bored down there. I imagine it's quite awkward. Oh, it's so cute, though. Come on, you guys can swim. Cloud had to. Oh, look at Nanaki.
Careful.
Don't rock the boat, Barrett.
Well, guys and girls, and, dog.
No, he's not a dog. He's a cat. His face! He was like, wee! That was hilarious. Hey!
Meet you at the top.
Oh, I don't have to hold it anymore.